You ever meet someone you thought was invisible until they opened their mouth and flipped the entire room on its head? That was Nika. To the people in the sleek, glass-walled office of Apex International, she was just the coffee girl. Buttoned up, quiet, efficient, easy to overlook. But what no one knew, what no one even bothered to know, was that behind the ponytail, clipboard, and polite smile was a storm waiting for the right moment. And that moment came on a Tuesday. The 37th floor of Apex Tower buzzed with the usual morning chaos. Phones rang in overlapping rhythms, suits brushed past each other without apology, and someone spilled an oat milk latte near the elevators, again. Nika moved through it all like clockwork. Pencil skirt, neatly pressed blouse, hair pulled tight. She was early, as always. She checked the catering list, laid out the conference folders, and placed a bottle of San Pellegrino at every investor seat, all while her boss, Mr. Reeves, barked at his assistant for printing the pitch deck in the wrong font. Again. To most, Nika was background noise. But what they didn't know was that while they saw her jotting notes during meetings, she was cross-referencing timestamps. When they saw her clearing out the shredder bin, she was logging inconsistencies in wire transfers. She never snooped. She simply listened and documented everything. She never spoke out of turn, never interrupted, just smiled, nodded, and kept her ears open. Because Nika was not just a secretary, she was a planted operative, on a mission with orders and purpose. That morning, the team had a high-stakes video meeting with a group of Chinese venture capitalists, big players from Beijing with old money, new tech, and sharp instincts. The room was prepped, projector humming, coffee steaming. But Reeves? Nowhere to be found. Nika checked her watch. 17 minutes late. She glanced at the glass doors where nervous junior execs hovered, whispering, "Where is he? And do we stall?" The Chinese delegation waited on screen, stiff in their seats, their translator politely trying to bridge the awkward silence. Then Nika did something no one expected. She stood up. Stepping quietly to the head of the table, she placed both hands on the polished wood and spoke, flawlessly, in Mandarin. "Thank you for your patience. We sincerely apologize for the delay. Please know your time is respected." Every person in the room froze. One of the investors, a man with graying temples and an icy stare, leaned toward the camera. "May I ask?" he said in Mandarin. "Who exactly are you?" Nika bowed slightly, calm as ever. "Just a secretary," she replied. Then, with a shift in tone, and in Korean, she added, "But I find roles often depend on perspective." There was a pause. Not of confusion, but calculation. The men on screen exchanged looks. One of them, Professor Zhang, turned to his colleagues and muttered something about accent precision. Nika heard it and smiled. She wasn't just speaking their language, she was thinking in it. The glass door burst open. Reeves stormed in, tie askew, red-faced and breathless. "What the hell is going on?" He stopped mid-step. All eyes were on Nika, who was now flipping through the presentation slides, annotating them in neat, looping Japanese kanji. Reeves blinked. "Nika, what are you doing?" His voice cracked with something between panic and rage. "Turn that off! Get out of that chair right now!" No one moved. The air changed. Professor Zhang glanced away from the screen and asked, in fluent Cantonese, "Is this the man responsible for your leadership decisions?" Nika answered immediately, same language. "Unfortunately, yes. But not for long." Reeves looked like someone had just yanked the floor out from under him. "What the hell are you saying?" And then the door opened again. Two men entered, black suits, crisp ID badges. One flashed a federal agency credential. "Mr. Reeves, you'll need to come with us." The room went silent. The camera feed went dark. Reeves stammered, "This is a mistake. Some sort of miscommunication." But the agents didn't flinch. Nika stood, straightened her skirt, tapped her tablet to shut off the projector. She turned to the stunned executives, those who once chuckled when she brought coffee, who called her Nika the notepad behind her back, and offered a polite, practiced nod. "This concludes our presentation. We'll be in touch." As Reeves was led out in handcuffs, one of the junior analysts whispered, "Who is she?" No one answered, but Professor Zhang leaned back, lips curling into a slow, impressed smile. "She's not just the help." Outside, reporters hadn't even caught wind of the storm brewing inside. Inside, Nika walked back to her desk like nothing had happened. She packed up one folder, slid her tablet into her bag, and took one final look at the floor she'd walked for 18 months. No one said a word. Even the loudmouth in accounts, the one who once asked her to grab him a muffin, sweetie, couldn't meet her eye. Because now, they weren't looking at the secretary. They were looking at the trap, and they realized, far too late, they'd walked right into it. Some silences don't feel empty. They feel like a fuse, already lit. That's what filled the Apex conference room after Nika walked out. Not confusion, not relief, something closer to fear. Because when people finally realize they've been looking at the queen and calling her a pawn, they start to wonder what else they missed. Mr. Reeves was gone, hauled off mid-sentence like a bad actor cut from a scene, and all that remained were stunned executives, blinking at each other like children caught cheating on a test they didn't study for. Then came the emails and the calls. First internal security, then legal, then a calendar ping from someone marked only as DO clearance, level 3. No one knew what it meant, but no one wanted to ask. By 11:00 a.m., the Chinese investors had vanished from the Zoom room. By 11:15, two junior partners had filed resignation letters. By 11:20, someone from HR locked the executive floor's printer. Panic doesn't need sirens. It just needs one woman, quiet, fluent, and watching. That same afternoon, at the Federal Building on Hudson Street, Agent Miller debriefed a group of high-level operatives. Codename Vega, he said, pointing to Nika's dossier, her Georgetown linguistics thesis peeking out beneath a redacted CIA clearance badge. 18 months embedded. Objective: confirm financial routing to flagged shell cores in Macau, Frankfurt, and Dubai. She didn't just confirm it. She unraveled it. One analyst whistled low under his breath. "Damn. We thought the leak was overseas." Agent Miller shook his head. Turns out it was upstairs the whole time. Back at Apex, things had gone from uncomfortable to combustible. The acting VP, a nervous man named Jeremy Lott, who once asked Nika to pick up his dry cleaning, called an emergency all-hands meeting. He stood behind the podium like a man on trial. "Everyone, let's stay calm. We're conducting an internal review. Just cooperate." But calm wasn't coming. Because one of the Chinese delegates, Professor Zhang himself, walked straight back into the building. In person. With him. A woman in a dark business suit carrying a slim briefcase and diplomatic credentials that made reception go pale. They entered the boardroom without asking permission. Jeremy stammered, This is a secure area." Professor Zhang simply raised an eyebrow. "No," he said. "That office? He nodded toward the corner suite where Reeves used to sit. Was never secure. We're here to speak with Ms. Vega. Ms. Who? She worked here, Zhang said. You called her the help. 10 minutes later, Nika reappeared. Calm, crisp. Coat folded over one arm. The badge she once wore on a lanyard was gone, replaced by a small pin under her collar. Even the way she walked had changed. Or maybe it had always been that way, and no one had noticed. She shook Zhang's hand, nodded to the woman with him, and turned to Jeremy. Jeremy, she said softly, you'll need to vacate this room. He laughed, then stopped when no one else did. You don't have clearance. Nika simply turned to the woman in the business suit. She reached into her briefcase, pulled out a federal override order, stamped, sealed, signed by the Department of Justice. Everyone was ushered out, except one intern, sitting stunned in the corner, clutching a half-finished spreadsheet. Nika turned, gave her a look, and said gently in French, "You're not invisible, remember that." Then in Spanish, "But some rooms aren't worth shrinking yourself to fit into." The intern blinked, nodded slowly, and walked out with her head a little higher than before. By that evening, the company was in lockdown, emails traced, hard drives imaged. The investor partnership Reeves had been pushing, revealed to be a front for illicit crypto laundering tied to 2 international shell companies. And all the while, Nika remained quiet. Her phone lit up once, a single message from someone labeled Director K. It read, "Job complete. Geneva awaits." She typed only 2 words in reply. "Package secured." Then powered the phone down. Before she left, she walked one final time past the glass-walled office where Reeves once held court. His nameplate was gone. Only a faint square of dust remained where it used to be. She reached into her coat pocket and slipped out a folded slip of paper. 3 lines. Neat handwriting. No flourish. She laid it on the desk, turned, and walked away. It read, "Sometimes the most dangerous figure in the room is the one nobody notices. Thanks for the coffee. I won't need another." By the time the headlines broke, Nika was already gone. Chai Vice President of Apex International, arrested in global money laundering scandal. FBI sources confirm inside whistleblower triggered investigation. Who is the woman behind the fall of a billion-dollar corporation? But no one had a name, because the woman at the center of it all never left a trace. She didn't give statements, didn't grant interviews, didn't stand in front of cameras with flashbulbs going off. She disappeared as quietly as she'd entered. Except for one thing. The building security logs showed her card swipe at 7:03 p.m. on the night everything collapsed. Her last recorded action? Handing over a sealed envelope to the night janitor with a smile and a simple request. "Put this on the front desk in the morning." It contained no evidence, no accusations, just a letter. Meanwhile, in a government office in Geneva, a quiet buzz filled a private meeting room. Diplomatic staff waited patiently, the windows looking out over Lake Léman. Then the door opened, and in stepped the woman they were waiting for. No fanfare, no entourage, just a carry-on bag and a folded coat. Nika. But here they called her something else. "Agent Vega," said a man in a dark suit standing to greet her. "Welcome back." While the world speculated, whispered, and invented stories, Nika sat in a quiet conference room, debriefing with officials from 4 different agencies. They didn't ask how she pulled it off. They already knew. They just wanted to know what came next. She had answers. Of course. in perfect English, French, Mandarin, and Russian, depending on who was asking. But what she didn't say spoke louder. She didn't talk about the nights spent reviewing Reeves's encrypted files line by line, or the moments she had to laugh at sexist jokes in boardrooms just to stay invisible, or how many times she had to smile when someone asked her to run and grab coffee. Because Nika knew the most effective disguises aren't costumes, they're expectations, and she'd worn hers like armor. Back in Manhattan, the fallout spread like ink in water. 3 other executives resigned within days. Federal subpoenas landed like thunderclaps across international subsidiaries. The board issued a statement, vague and full of phrases like internal audit, structural review, and regrettable misconduct. But in the break rooms and behind closed doors, people whispered about her. She was always so quiet. I heard she spoke 9 languages. Did you know she had a degree from Georgetown? She smiled when Reeves yelled at her, like she knew something. They called her the ghost, the mole, the genius in glasses. But none of them remembered her name, because none of them had ever bothered to ask. There was one exception. Maya, the new intern, the one Nika had spoken to in French and Spanish before walking out. She found the letter on the front desk that morning, folded, handwritten, addressed simply, to the one who thinks she's invisible. Inside, 3 lines. Let them underestimate you. Let them forget your name. Just make sure they never forget what you did. Maya didn't cry. Not then. But 2 weeks later, when she was promoted to junior analyst, and the same man who once called her sweetheart asked for help understanding a French document, she translated it calmly and smiled.